17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse, who shot and killed 2 protesters in Kenosha, Wisconsin over the summer, has been released on $2 million bond.
Anna, stop, Hooknose, please. He didn't kill 2 protesters. I mean, wait, you're telling me that Rosenblum or Rosenbaum, whatever his name was, the shoot me, nigga, shoot me, that guy, you're calling a protester? I'm calling him a psychopath. He was a pedophile, was he not? But that's not even relevant in this case. The most important thing to know about him is A, he was short, B, he was an angry toad, and he was violent. The dude was an instigator, and he came after Kyle Rittenhouse. So Kyle Rittenhouse didn't go to Kenosha and shoot 2 protesters. He defended himself against violent assholes. And so this is insane. I'm looking at the graphic here. Kyle Rittenhouse posts $2 million bail. So that's the story. That's all that they have. That's the only information they're going to give you. The rest of it is just beautifully horrible to watch, but just filled with hatred and random smears against Trump and just non sequiturs. It's so bizarre. Look at the title there, cash bail. You see that in the red on the left? Thanks for explaining to us what bail is. Cash bail. Did he give $2 million in cash? I don't think that's how that worked. Was it? I mean, just coming in with wheelbarrows? I like the fact that he came up with $2 million bail. That's kind of interesting, but what is the story here? Why are they outraged about this? The trial hasn't even happened. They're just kind of pissed that Kyle Rittenhouse exists and that he posted bail. So when Crystal Kaiser posts bail, the black prostitute who killed a dude, forgot to racialize, black prostitute killed a white dude, and then she's on bail, that's fine. That's just the justice system working. Kyle Rittenhouse posts bail, and it's like, what the fuck? Do you think he's not coming back to trial to get his $2 million or whoever put up that money? I think it's pretty safe to realize that bail is going to work in this case. And why are your panties in a bunch? The trial hasn't even happened. Here's what you need to understand. Well, let's let her bleat out some hook-nosed thoughts and then I'll give you the real good shit.
Has been released on $2 million bond, which means he's no longer in jail. He's no longer in custody.
Thanks, Anna. Thanks for explaining to your sycophantic retards the concept of bail. Wait, Anna, did he post bail and then stayed in jail? I'm not quite sure I understand.
He drove from Illinois to Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Uh-oh, ladies and gentlemen. Guaranteed during this video, she's going to express the following phrase to you. And I guarantee you, he crossed state lines. He crossed state lines. It is a certainty that that will come out of her face. She says it like it's the correct answer to your final oral exam in physics in high school, where it's just like, hey, what does force equal? Force equals mass times acceleration. I nailed it. Give me my diploma. I mean, crossing state lines. And which states? Did this guy go on a cannonball run? Did he start in Dade County, Florida, and then just drove to friggin' Wisconsin, crossing state line after state line after state line? The most uneventful thing of all time. You know what would be even better than this? You're flying from LA to London and your pilot gets on the horn and indicates to you when you've crossed time zones. This is a captain speak. Just want to let you know that we're going into mountain time. We're going into Central Standard Time. Pretty soon we're going to be going into Eastern Standard Time, otherwise known as EST. If you look out on your left, you see a bunch of clouds. Just kidding, a little pilot humor. I'll catch you later. Okay, bye-bye. So, crossing state lines. Yeah, he went from Illinois to Wisconsin. Now, for the people out there who aren't from this region, and, you know, God forbid you actually are from this region, unless you're a patron, and then it makes perfect sense, and I admire your decision. Illinois is here. Wisconsin is there. It's right up on its ass. In fact, it kind of looks like a very artificial line that separates the two. Just a straight line. Some guy with a ruler was just like, how about here? It's like, okay, yeah, there. And Kenosha is right on the border. It's like the first city you get to. So, yeah, he crossed... I mean, let's take it a step further. He crossed county lines. He crossed streets. He crossed congressional district lines. Any other lines? Did he pass the equator? No, he didn't. Of course not. But yeah, there was a state line and there was zero fanfare when he crossed that state line. There might have been a sign on the freeway that he could have caught just motion blurred in his peripheral vision. Crossing state lines according to Anna Kasparian, is up there with some of the top war crimes ever committed. I think it's genocide, torture, and then crossing state lines. In other words, Anna, you are a dumb, foul, pernicious, asymmetrically nostriled witch. Continue.
And proceeded to open fire, shooting 3 people.
Yeah, he crossed. What did he do? He went to this rally and proceeded to open fire. What a telling of a story. Again, a critical part in the middle that was left out. Let's see if I can recount other stories where you remove a little bit in the middle and then it kind of changes the entire story. How about this one? Titanic. There was a character, her name was Rose. She was young and beautiful, and then at the end, she was super old. The end. That was my rendition of the Titanic. Schindler's List. Schindler's List is the story of Oskar Schindler, a man who had a wife. He was living in Germany. I think he was involved in some business. And then at the end of the film, he leaves and goes to Argentina. And that was like the Cliff Note version of Schindler's List. Not quite the same, well, because Spielberg had like a budget and he had visuals and stuff, but it's essentially that. Oh, I left out a part? Did I? Yeah, the part Anna's leaving out is this dude was attacked and defended his life.
And proceeded to open fire, shooting 3 people in total. 1 person was injured, 2 people died. And as a result...
Are those eyebrows normal to you? Did she carve those eyebrows to give expression? That's her resting eyebrow face. That's very Joker-esque. I'm talking about Jack Nicholson Joker. I don't understand it. Apparently, this is how she wants to look.
He was arrested and is facing multiple serious charges, including first-degree intentional homicide, first-degree reckless homicide.
Yeah, he's first in all these things. We're number one. We're number one.
Attempted first-degree intentional homicide and other charges, but those are the most serious. Now, the protests that were taking place last summer.
Were righteous. Yeah, those shoot me, nigga, shoot me, nigga. Those guys. Yeah, what were they up to, Anna?
Occurred after the police shooting of Jacob Blake.
Totally justified. Don't kill my dad. They just cut to. Well, kid, tell your dad not to kill other people, and then his odds will improve.
He was shot in the back, and
he was shot in the back as he reached for a knife that he was going to use to hurt kids, women, and cops. So the guy deserved to be shot. It's entirely Jacob Blake's fault. But that's a tangent. But I mean, if you're unclear about the legitimacy of shooting Jacob Blake, you're a moron.
That video was certainly jarring. It was something that we covered in detail on this show.
This seems stupid. Is this like a Christmas carol? 7 bullets in a civilian, 6 bleeding. Okay, 6 bleeding out as he 5 watched. Huh? Oh, 5-year-old. I thought it was rap. I don't know. 5-year-old watched for the people we have 3 words to say under one cause. Black Lives Matter. That is a lot of effort into a very stupid sign. I could see someone trying to read that just on the street going, dude, what the fuck is this? You're kind of killing my buzz.
The 2 victims who died as a result of this 17-year-old opening fire with an illegal weapon, an AR-15.
I like the illegal weapon. They chuck that on like that matters. If he had an illegal weapon and wasn't permitted to use it, then charge him for that. What is that, a fine? I mean, this is not what we're here to talk about, but she chucks that on as if he's some gangster, as if this guy's out there just hitting up people in drive-bys. He's definitely not.
That he had no business being in possession of. The 2 victims are 36-year-old Joseph Rosenbaum,
the pedophile,
and 26-year-old Anthony Huber.
Anna, it's funny that you're talking about these victims. They're white, for starters, but you didn't talk about the guy in Denver who was shot and killed by your fan? You still haven't talked about that guy. So you're not going to list off his name, right? He doesn't matter. And the reason he doesn't matter is because he's on the right politically. So the reason we're here talking about Kyle Rittenhouse is because, yeah, even though he's 17, he's not on the left, okay? We can assume that he is a Trump conservative type. I mean, who gives a shit what this 17-year-old is? He's a booger-picking fap lord. I mean, does it matter? But it does matter to her. That's the issue. And this is the whole lesson of watching this scrub, this heinous bitch, talk about this and pretend to be a news lady, everything changes based off the political affiliation of the people in the video. In fact, the video's existence hinges on the fact that she can demonize a person on the right and uplift someone on the left. That's why you didn't see the video of the TYT fan killing a Trump fan in cold blood in the middle of the afternoon in Denver. So I don't care what political affiliation this guy has. I don't care what race anyone has. There's something above that, and it's called integrity and it's called sanity. You cannot just live your life as a blatant hypocrite without it coming to circle back on you and be noticed by people with some semblance of intelligence or honor.
And how did he purchase that gun? Well, he admitted to the press that he purchased that AR-15 by using a coronavirus stimulus check, and that a 19-year-old friend of his helped him purchase the gun because, of course, he's too young as a 17-year-old to purchase an AR-15. When he was asked about it, he said, "No, I don't regret it. I would have died that night if I didn't. I feel like I had to protect myself." Now, again, he drove from Illinois to Wisconsin.
How do you get from Illinois to Wisconsin? I mean, already guilty, dude. Already guilty of traveling. He traveled somewhere. Now, if you jump over the border, is that still crossing the border? What if I just like parachute in? Is that crossing state lines? Anna, get to your, just wait. When she gets to this, listen to how proud she is of herself to know the expression crossing state lines. Yes, Anna, there was a thing in Kenosha. He didn't live in Kenosha. He lived near Kenosha. So he went to Kenosha. Anna, this doesn't mean anything.
So he put himself in what he considers a dangerous situation.
Right, so he's brave. He goes to where there's civil unrest and to where the city is being burnt to the ground, his country. Okay, so he's a patriot. Continue. He
was in possession of an illegal weapon. He was the one who opened fire first.
What? Open fire first? See, what? You know why she laughs there? Because she knows how absurd that is. She knows it's not a position to take, to say, he who fires first is guilty. That is retarded, Anna. In fact, the one guy, the last guy he shot, was pulling a gun on him and swiveling to point it at him. There's a guy, he's on the ground getting hit over the head with a skateboard, and there's a guy with a gun pulling it on you, and he shoots him in the arm. And you're like, well, he fired first, so chuck him in jail. He's the bad guy.
And we'll see how this all plays.
And I think that's the Freudian slip of her smile, is that she knows this is comically stupid, what she's saying. The whole point is that he was being attacked violently and physically by people, by a mob. And so him shooting at them is hardly first of all, it's not even a crime. So he's gonna walk, Anna, he's gonna walk. And she's gonna pop back here and just freak out. But look, let the trial happen. And you'll see for yourself, it's all on tape. But watch where this conversation goes, and guess who she brings on? She brings on the maniacally evil, racist, Puerto Rican sinkhole of hate, who's looking more and more like brown Mr. Magoo. Aida Rodriguez. And she just goes off like she always does because I don't even know how she justifies her continued existence on this earth. But it's spectacular.
Plays out in court, but the point of this story, the point of this update is that he is free on $2 million bond.
Thanks, Anna. Thanks for reporting the news. Rittenhouse got bail. You could have ended the story after 3 words, but okay, thanks. We could have figured this out. Where did you find this? Let's cut out the middleman, Anna. What are you here for? Do you think we needed you to tell us that? No, but of course they sprinkle on all this extra shit. So the video should be over right now. Rittenhouse is on bail. We're still waiting on the trial. Next? Nope. We got some commentary, some color commentary from a colored woman. Let's watch.
I have a couple of thoughts about this. First and foremost, the circus that's happening today, we can credit the mainstream media for because they continue to shine a light, give a microphone, and continue to amplify the voices of all the circus, right?
Okay, so she comes out with word salad. Let's blame the mainstream media for what? Kyle Rittenhouse? Not him getting bail. So you're saying Kyle Rittenhouse wouldn't have gone to Kenosha if not for the mainstream media? Is that the point that you're trying to make here? It's just such an insignificant thing to say. Yeah, the news matters. Wait a minute. Yeah, if they didn't report Jacob Blake, no one would have even known about this. So there wouldn't have been riots in Kenosha. Are you suggesting we don't report on riots? No, we should do that. So what are you even saying here?
People are dying every day. all kinds of things are happening all over the world. And the Washington Post is having a sit down with Kyle because we want to know what a murderer is thinking.
Oh, so the Washington Post interviewed him and you take issue with that. And you think that that is taking up the time of the mainstream media, so they're not covering people dying from around the world? What about you guys? What's your role in all this? You don't cover when your fans go out and kill people. You don't cover when blacks kill people, which happens all the time. You ignore all that shit. And you pick this guy because Kyle Rittenhouse is on the right and he's white. That's why you did it. And you think that this is a winning formula. You think your audience enjoys shitting on a right-winger who's white. And the thoughts of a murderer, he's not a murderer. He's a man who defended his own life.
And then we wonder why the world and our country is in disarray, because the media, mainstream media, is constantly adding fuel to the fire.
Interviewing a guy is adding fuel to the fire, and that's the reason our country is in disarray. This is like worthless noises coming out of a Puerto Rican. That's what I'm listening to. It's so stupid. It's beyond wrong. It's just madness.
We shouldn't. I don't want to hear what he has to say.
Then don't read the article. I don't want to hear what you have to say. And yet I'm here suffering.
Right? I don't want to hear what he has to say. He's a criminal, a cold-blooded murderer.
Oh, so I didn't realize that's how our legal system works. We wait for this Puerto Rican hag to come in and declare someone a criminal. So there is no such thing as self-defense. No, you should let them attack you. Let them hurt you. Let them beat on you. Because they're on the right side of history and you're a white guy. So go fuck yourself, Kyle.
If he would have been black, he would have been.
There it is. There's the racializing. I told you race was on the mind. I told you that's why we're here right now. I mean, don't think that I am putting this on them. I am acknowledging that they are all about racism, as in they're all racist. And she hates white people. Watch the anti-white shit just from here to the end.
If he would have been black, he would have been under the jail. There would be no $2 million bond.
What? Really? Aida. Blacks don't post bail? Is that what I just heard? Is that an argument you want to delve into? Shall I refute that, or is it self-refuting?
And I'm just tired of them trying to normalize the other side's opinion when the other side is evil and wrong.
Normalize the other side's opinion. First of all, I'm sure the article doesn't do that. I'm sure interviewing someone is not normalizing. It's just an interview. But don't even platform the other side. Aida has already deemed them to be wrong. So silence them, and you're basically okay to attack them. Keep in mind, they're on the wrong side. They're criminals. They're the enemy. This is the mindset. I mean, she just took a shit on due process, on our entire legal system, and the rationality behind why we have it the way we do, the morality behind it, the innocent until proven guilty, and all of that. She's like, nah, get rid of it.
And that's not journalism.
Oh my God. We're listening to a woman on a fucking Skype call telling us about what real journalism is.
That is sensationalism and continuing.
Her Twitter handle is Funny Aida. I mean, I know you're rolling in the seats laughing at her little speech here. Very amusing woman, very funny, just peppering in zingers as she goes.
To create bigger problems from us, they politicize Black Lives Matter to try to justify the wrongdoings of Black people and to...
They politicize Black Lives Matter to justify the wrongdoings of Black people? Are you talking about yourself? Yeah, Black Lives Matter is a smokescreen, a distraction to say, hey, look over here. Look over here. See, there's a white cop that did something to a black. Meanwhile, ignoring the massive black elephant in the room, which is black crime, which happens all the time. Black crime, black hate, black racism, voluntary black segregation. I mean, all of that is what you're trying to give a pass to. I think she just fucked up her sentence there.
To continuously, degrade and berate people speaking up for the lives of Black and brown people.
I think she's malfunctioning. I think her woke algorithm is on the fritz. She's just sort of blurting out brown, black, and then just words.
And, it just shows that this country doesn't care about white people either.
Huh? This is like the inverse bizarro world of Kanye West. George Bush doesn't care about white people. What? Isn't this off script? I thought we're in a white supremacist country and it's white versus black and brown. Wait, so who is the enemy now? The media hates white people? Say, huh? Oh, I guess the confusing part here is Kyle killed white people. And so you can't say it's racist. So now you got to spurg into this pivot.
This is all about the elite here.
Who's elite? This is your rage against the Washington Post for doing a story on Kyle Rittenhouse because they asked him questions and he answered them. Maybe I should take a look at this article. You're upset that they did journalism. Instead, what they should have done was whatever the fuck you call this, which is to say, Kyle Rittenhouse is out on bail, but fuck him, he's a criminal, he crossed state lines, I declare him guilty, he's a murderer, and he shouldn't have a right to defend himself. Not legally, not physically. That's the correct path to take, Aida?
Because those people that were murdered, their lives, we don't even talk about them as human beings.
Oh, interesting. Let me extend that thought. Those people who died were white people. I mean, Rosenbaum, I get it. All right, whitish. And they died, but their lives didn't matter, and we don't talk about them. Yeah, you know what that's called? The absence of the movement White Lives Matter. Right, so the Trump supporter in Denver that was killed by a TYT fan, we don't talk about him because white lives don't matter. To you, Aida. That's why we're not covering that story. The choice that you made at your little morning coffee session production meeting to do this story and not the 1,000 others you could have done, where it's a black raping a white, etc., that's because you have a racist agenda. So it's, very dangerous to just talk about things and try to accuse other people of things. You might want to safeguard yourself and make sure you're not doing the exact thing that you're accusing others of.
We just talk about Kyle and how he's become the poster child of one of the talking points of this ridiculous cult that follows Donald Trump.
Okay, so now we're back to a fuck Trump. So Kyle Rittenhouse and then a couple minutes of inane babble and fuck Trump. And it's just fascinating for me to see how that works, how you don't even need a connection. The story could be, hey, it's partly cloudy outside with chance of rain. By the way, fuck Trump.
Yeah, to your point about the false equivalency between protesters who are, fighting back against a two-tier justice system.
What? What 2 tiers of justice? And I don't think you should have said fighting back, Anna, because first of all, they weren't protesters, they were rioters, and they were assailants. They were assaulting Kyle Rittenhouse. And so to say fighting back, it almost is like you're granting that, yes, they were violent and physical with Kyle Rittenhouse. Instead, you should probably stick with the original language you used, which was preposterous, calling them protesters, like they're putting a daisy into Kyle Rittenhouse's gun, talking about, all we are saying is give peace a chance.
And all sorts of injustices that we've seen with our very eyes in various videos featuring police shooting.
Oh, your very eyes and your very disfigured eyebrows? You've seen that, Anna? You've seen it. Well, okay, I guess your eyes don't lie. I guess there's no such thing as cherry picking and confirmation bias. You've seen everything, Anna, and you're reporting it just right down the middle. She's fair and balanced, I would say.
To equate them with right-wing gang members, because that's what they are.
Kyle Rittenhouse, one guy being attacked by a mob, is now called a gangster, a right-wing gangster. Fucking laughable. So the gang is Antifa. The gang is BLM. The gang is the hordes of leftist lunatics on the streets. And what does she do? She tells the grand lie, the lie of projection. Take the worst thing about yourself, slap it on the other person, and then wash your hands of it like you're Lady Macbeth.
Is pretty shameful and disgusting. And these are the same people who enable Donald Trump's denials of the outcome of the general election.
Donald Trump not accepting the election result. How do we go from Kyle Rittenhouse to that? Again, like the talking points are in the chamber and it doesn't matter what came before. They're coming out.
People who are essentially enabling him to dismantle our democratic process. To say that Black Lives Matter protesters are basically like...
They have a picture of Trump up there. And look at Trump's face. Trump's face is like, what am I doing in this graphic? Why am I in this video?
The left-wing component of whatever Kyle Rittenhouse is incredibly, incredibly embarrassing and pathetic for any news organization that tries to draw that false equivalency.
Fucking retarded. Anna, it's embarrassing and pathetic that you have taken what you are, your side, the left, and the people out there in the streets. They are a gang, a violent, marauding gang. BLM, Antifa. And you pick on this kid who gets out there and defends his life and try to accuse him of being a gang of one? I mean, it's so stupid, Anna. These people are scrambling to try to pretend like they're the good guys.
You know, it's one thing to take a comment or a statement from Kyle Rittenhouse. He's going to want to defend what he engaged in.
Oh, that's one thing, but teach us how to journalism, Anna.
But I do think it's important for these media outlets to be
biased and shit on him and don't let him talk, because that's what your Puerto Rican friend just said.
Incredibly clear about what he did wrong.
No, what do you mean what he did wrong? He's innocent until proven guilty. And this is the most open and shut case of self-defense ever in recorded history. I mean, the guy was being attacked and hit in the head, and he defended himself. He shot a guy who was pulling a gun on him in his arm. And you're like, oh yeah, the media should say what he did and condemn him. Is that the role of the media, Anna? It's amazing. Why aren't we talking about, hey, there's a black guy, he just shot and killed a white guy. Should we let him defend himself in court? Should there be a trial? I don't know. Should we cover it? Yeah, maybe we should cover it. And while we cover it, let's just say he's a murderer and he's guilty of this. That's the role of the journalists. It's so fucking retarded.
It's not like he was in his front yard.
Aha, he wasn't. In his front yard, he can see Russia from his front yard. Right, you're allowed to shoot people in your front yard. That's stand your ground. There's no rules of self-defense once you leave your front yard, right, Anna?
It's not like he was in his front yard. Yeah. And he was approached by a group of individuals who posed an imminent threat to his life.
Right, he was in Kenosha and was approached by a group of individuals who posed an imminent threat to his life. So Anna, he's an American in America. He has all the same rights as he would otherwise.
He drove across state lines. He drove across state lines.
He drove across state lines.
He drove across state lines.
He drove across state lines.
What? Whoa, no, Anna, no, not that. Anything but that. Wait, was it first degree or second degree driving across state lines? I've heard of the crime involuntarily driving across state lines, you know, like involuntary manslaughter. I think he intentionally did drive across the state lines, which is, I'm not sure if that's a felony or misdemeanor, but I think it's aggravated. It was an aggravated case of driving across state lines. What was it, Anna?
He drove across state lines.
He drove across state lines.
He drove across state lines.
With his family, intending to go to this protest armed with a gun that...
Oh, Anna. Do armed people go to protests on the left? Oh, and are they allowed to defend themselves? Oh, weird. Uh-oh, should we be hypocritical here?
He did not have
Yeah, Anna, no one cares that he had a minor infraction with the gun. If that's true, then let him be guilty of that. That's totally not the point. I mean, but I love that. Let's just throw some shade at the dude.
He did not have
He drove across state lines.
He drove across state lines.
Was not legally in possession of.
What does that mean, Anna? She keeps saying that the gun was an illegally owned gun as if anything you then do with that gun is also illegal. That's not the case. He could be found innocent and say you used that gun within your rights to defend your life, but also here's a gun charge because you shouldn't have had the gun.
He opened fire
after he was being attacked, a part that you didn't mention. I mean, great honesty, great, thanks. I mean, you can really trust these people. They're giving it to us straight.
And as protesters were chasing him to get a hold of his gun so he didn't hurt anyone else, he opened fire again.
What were they doing? Objection? Conjecture? You are inside the minds of the, quote, protesters, which is laughable that you call them that. The rioters who were in a mob assaulting him, you think that they were trying to get his gun? And what else? So wait, smashing someone over the head with a skateboard is you trying to get their gun? No, it's you're attacking a person.
Injuring one more person and killing another person. So that's what we're dealing with here with Kyle Rittenhouse. And
God bless Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse 2024. Kyle Rittenhouse for local sheriff. Kyle Rittenhouse for headmistress of a private school.
You know, the thing that sucks the most about this is you can't always rely on our justice system to carry out justice, right?
Right. Justice is what Anna wants in any given situation. So she's already decided this case. She knows better than you. She is better than you, much better. So when the justice system goes against Anna, it's flawed. When it's with Anna, it's good.
So I don't know what the outcome of this case is going to be. But
if it goes against what I want, then it's flawed.
My fear is that if justice is not served, it will continue to embolden what the FBI has referred to as the greatest domestic threat that we're facing right now. And that's
the left-wing mob of violent bitches.
Right-wing extremists.
Here comes the other biggest lie that she could possibly manufacture. The FBI thinks the biggest threat is what? Right-wing? That's insane. Yeah, open your eyes. In the middle, at the tail end of 2020, she's talking about left. There's no left-wing threat. What? There's nothing to see here. Are you kidding me? Who would believe this?
Right-wing extremists.
Yeah, you can't even get it out of your mouth because it's so obviously false. How is he an extremist? This is a simple case of a man defending his life. And you're like, this is the greatest threat to our nation. Right-wing gangs of extremists. I mean, what a floundering job of trying to dupe your audience to not acknowledge that the very thing you're criticizing your so-called opponents for is what you are.
The FBI has said that in multiple reports.
No, they haven't. That is total bullshit.
And that's what Kyle Rittenhouse and all of his enablers are.
Absolutely. And wouldn't it have been nice to do a story covering the families of the victims? But it's far more sensational to get his take, because his take is of value. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so precious. The victims of who? Gavin Long's victims? Those people? How about let's do a story about the family members of the victims of black crime? Wouldn't that be nice to do that?
A statement is fine. You have your day in court to make your statement. Such a part of what is happening right now with this administration, what's happening in the country right now. And it's just sickening to hear. And look, nobody's surprised that the white boy got the help. He got the money.
Here we go. No one's surprised that the white boy. So white boy is a racial slur. That's what she's using it as. That's a disrespectful, the white boy. She's not talking about, like, if you come out and go, hey, Tamir Rice, who's that? That little black boy? The little black boy got shot? What's that little black boy doing? You think she'd be cool with that? Of course she wouldn't be cool with that. And that's a 12-year-old. So you have more of a case to call him a boy. Calling Kyle Rittenhouse a white boy? No one gives a shit that this little white boy got the money. Fucking white people, man. I mean, this is just repugnant fuckery from the Young Turks and Aida Rodriguez again. No one calls it out. YouTube doesn't do a goddamn thing. It's a fucking joke.
He got all of the assistance. We expect that to happen because that's Friday in America.
Right. People post bail, and because he's white, it's a problem. But when a black person posts bail, like the bail that Crystal Kaiser got, you're not going to run a story on that. Ah, man, no one's surprised that black girl got the bail, man. Whatever. That's just a Friday.
But enough is enough. There are people dying every day of COVID-19, and they could have better served those people by telling their stories and really waking these people up.
So what? How is COVID coming into this? People are dying of COVID and?
Instead of hearing the justification of a minor.
Huh? So wait a minute. Some reporter does a story about Kyle Rittenhouse, and you're like, why is that story even being made? All stories should be about COVID? This is so painfully stupid. I mean, why are you doing a video about Kyle Rittenhouse? Why don't you just turn this entire segment into COVID is a thing? Do people not even think to apply what they're saying to themselves? Maybe that's what I'm discovering. They don't even have that thought.
Who took the law into his own hands.
No, he took his life into his own hands, as in he felt the need to protect his life.
Abuse. Imagine a black person taking $1,200 stimulus money to buy anything other than what the elite thinks that person should be buying.
Okay, this is, again, just an absolutely mind-bogglingly stupid thing to say. She just randomly racialized this and goes, a white guy took his stimulus money to buy a gun. What if a black person took their stimulus money and bought something? Yeah, what of it? They did. They are. What the fuck is the point you're trying to make? Oh, I get it. White people, black people, they're different and it's not fair. Fucking whites.
You see the stories all the time. You're going to go to jail because you're misappropriating your stimulus funds.
Huh? That's never happened once. You're going to go to jail because you've misspent your stimulus funds? Is she senile? I mean, this is... How did they upload this?
But this kid took and bought an illegal arm.
He took an illegal arm. You mean he had arms? Wait, the singular for arms is arm?
And illegally, because he's not old enough, had somebody buy it for him. How many laws were broken in addition to murder?
None. Just one. Yeah. Well, he did cross state lines, first degree. But then outside of that, the gun charge. He'll have a gun charge. Yawn.
And here we are having a conversation about what he has to say.
Yeah. Let's hear what he has to say.
That's some foolishness.
No, it's not bullshit. Shut your fucking useless mouth.
You make such a good point
Oh yes, Aida, let me give you a rim job.
About how he used stimulus money and like the cojones, right?
Oh, identifying with Rodriguez. Anna dipping into her Spanglish. The cojones.
To just openly say like, yeah, I used my stimulus check and what?
Yeah, and what? What do you mean? What is he supposed to spend that on? Who cares? It's like a minor point. Means nothing. I like how they're burrowing into this rabbit hole like there's some truth underneath it. Like, you're not supposed to spend your stimulus money on something? No, he could spend it on whatever the fuck he wanted to.
I don't regret it. I needed to defend myself.
Yes, he did. He was being attacked by a mob.
No, you didn't.
Oh, Anna, brave. He didn't need to defend himself from the mob who was attacking him. Really. Anna, so powerfully brave. I wonder when you're being attacked by a mob if you would say the same thing. And if you tried to defend yourself, would you take issue if I said, oh, you didn't have to do that? No, you didn't.
No one told you to go to Kenosha, Wisconsin?
No one told BLM or Antifa to go to Kenosha, Wisconsin.
No one told you to do that. You did that.
Yeah, he did. And that's, what are you blaming the victim? So if you go to Kenosha, you're gonna be jumped and attacked and you have no point because, hey, you're an outsider. What are you even doing here? That's not how that works, Anna, either.
He bought a gun and killed people. If a black kid would have...
racializing again. Here's a white kid doing something. But if a black did this over here, white versus black, fuck those whites. Am I right?
He bought a gun and killed people. If a black kid would have bought some Jordans with that $1,200 and the media would have got a hold of it, it would have been a big story.
Wait, if a black kid bought Jordans with his stimulus check, first of all, that has happened. Second of all, no one would have cared. No one does care. A black kid bought some Jordans? Oh yeah, breaking news. What the fuck are you talking about? This is so over the top retarded. I mean, she is so desperate to make some sort of a point where you juxtapose a white versus a black. Just empty, bitter racism from this funny comedian, wink.
He bought a weapon to murder people. And then people don't want to hear about Black Lives Matter. We don't want to hear about y'all. We tired of y'all.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really.
Oh, I wonder what y'all meant there. We're tired of y'all. Who's the y'all? I mean, Black Lives Matter was one thing. You keep going from black to white, black, white. If a black guy did this, but this white boy did that, and you guys don't want to talk about Black Lives Matter, now we're tired of y'all. Obviously, she's talking about white people. Ada Rodriguez is tired of white people, and Anna Kasparian just platformed that message on their little fake news show, The Young Turks. These people are the enemy of everyone. These people are over-the-top, racist, angry, punk bitches. They took a story like Kyle Rittenhouse, got every factual point wrong about the story, lied, omitted things, connected it to random things like journalism is bad because they interviewed a guy, or fuck Trump, or no one should talk about anything but Corona. Just stupid point after stupid point, and they close it off and they go, yeah, fucking whites, am I right? I mean, you guys, this is post-Trump. So Trump is lost. This anti-white bullshit does not stop. I mean, this is a cancer in our society. And so it doesn't matter who's president. Their hatred, their insanity, their total lack of any ethical coherence, that is going to continue long into the future. So buckle up. I hope you packed a lunch because this ain't going away anytime soon.